What it is, YouTube? It's your girl Potty Mouth Goddess PMG. What it is, Potty Mouth Squad PMS. How y'all doing today? I want you to know, if you don't already know, you are beautiful, kind, smart, intelligent, and just fine. Shh. Okay, you fine. Shh. And anybody who comes in contact with you, they need to ask themselves.
How lucky can one guy be?
All right, so for today's video, we got Nicki Minaj calls out Rocnation and Jayz. By impressive. Look, Nicki, I don't know, like she be tripping out, she be crashing out on them, specifically Jay-Z. I don't know what the beef is. I know they used to be cool. Hell, her and Beyonce had two songs together. We wanted a third one. Shit, we wanted a whole album together. I would like that. That would have been fire. I don't know what's going on. She just be crashing out. But I'm interested to hear what she got to say, because I'm sure it's truth to some of the stuff that she's saying. Like, I don't think everything that she's saying is a lie, or I don't even think that she's specifically telling lies. I just think she just be going haywire, like, and it's just like, girl, pick up the phone, call them people. They probably blocked her ass. That's probably what it is. They got her blocked. Also, I want to say, y'all, the audio quality is about to get better on the videos. I just got a new capture card. We upgraded to the Elgato because I had like one of them capture cards from like a Chinese company, and I'd be having to delete videos. I'm like, the audio sucks, like, but no more. That's gonna be no more. I promise. I promise. All right. Without further ado, let's get right to the video.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. This is going to be an interesting story because last week Nicki Minaj called out Rocnation, and Nicki has had some
I
heat
like her
for
hair.
Rocnation.
Yes,
If
I
you
like her.
don't know, Rocnation is run by Jay-Z and the CEO Desiree Perez. And Nicki has seemingly dropped hints that she has been facing sabotage behind the scenes. However, we don't exactly know to what extent. Recently, she did lend out some public support to Desiree's daughter, Demoree Hadley. Now, if you don't know, Demoree is
So
going
what the
through a
fuck
legal battle with
happened?
her mother, Desiree, because she claims that Desiree hired a network of people to stalk and harass her and her husband, Javon. She allegedly had them followed by private investigators. A
Ooh.
GPS tracker was put on her car. A secret camera was planted in her room without her consent or knowledge. Her devices were hacked.
Mama,
Her
what you
husband
got
was falsely
going
arrested
on?
3 times. And Demoree claims that her mother conspired with a network of people to have her falsely detained under the Baker Act and the Marchman Act, even though she is not mentally incapacitated, nor does she use drugs at all. But she alleges that Desiree tried to do this in order to get guardianship over her. Now, Desiree was
What
able
type
to
of
get a gag
control
order in
shit?
place against Demoree, and that gag order was granted by the district judge Beth Bloom. But prior to this order being granted, Demoree actually did several interviews with BJ Investigates, Jaguar Wright,
Oh,
respectively
Jack, all
Xavier,
right.
and also Tasha K. She also told her story on NBC6 South Florida News. And Nicki Minaj has been keeping up with the story, as a lot of us have, and she has publicly supported Demoree. She said hashtag justice for them. She also went on to talk about some of her own frustrations. Somebody said TikTok especially hasn't wanted us to defend you lately, like at all. And
Oh,
Nicki
her
said
videos getting
they've had
deleted.
access to my accounts on all platforms. I didn't change the passwords either. I let them continue doing everything they allegedly did to Demoree
Why
to
do
me.
they have
And you
access to
have
your
no
accounts,
idea
Nikki?
how disgusting it gets. Enough is enough. Barb's, that's the real reason I won't release music. To the PMs who claim it wasn't made clear to your ugly selves, hopefully Demoree's massive and detailed page by page claim gets you all the way caught up. And never call me a liar. Never insinuated either. Every single angel ever created fights for me at the mere mention of that word as it relates to me. Vengeance is the Lord's. Be careful. No one who conspired on the wrong side will go unpunished for the role they played in this movie. I hope it was all worth it. And Demoree actually thanked Nicki Minaj, and she said, "Thank you. I'm so grateful." And even though Nicki doesn't know her and never met her, she heard the story like a lot of us have, and I think she empathizes with her.
Why
Yeah.
is it that Nicki Minaj is so invested in what's happening to you?
I haven't spoken to her, by the way. So I'm gonna put that on the
Cause she
record.
want
I
to
have
take them
not been
down.
in direct contact with her. Would love to. Would love to. I think she's standing up for me because she has been through some trauma and some abuse with
With them.
Rocnation, with Desiree
Yeah.
Perez, with other individuals.
Girl, she trying to get you as an
What I
ally.
can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, it's hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even gonna go into detail with that. But I've kind of seen just like you firsthand how they've kind of abused her. They've abused of her platform. They've abused of her talent. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. Uh, and it's sad. I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it.
Wait.
Because I think she's almost saying it like, well, it happened to me. It's happening to her. Let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now, and she's fed up. I think she's fed up because she's been through a lot.
It really says a lot for Demoree to actually
What they
say
do to
that,
Papa
because a lot of
Bear?
people would think that Nicki is just acting crazy and she's paranoid, but I think she has been through a lot of things that we really don't even know about, which is probably why she supports Demoree, like a lot of people do. Now, I really want to get into Demoree's story because I'm sure a lot of us are wondering, what is the issue between Desiree and her daughter Demoree? Well, according to Demoree, she and her mother kind of have a complex relationship, considering that her mother wasn't really there for her when she was young. Her mother was in the streets. She was trafficking drugs. She was into fraud. She was a criminal. Okay, she went
I
to
believe
jail, and
that.
then she later on became an informant. And also, Demoree's father was a part of the Puerto Rican cartel, so he's serving life right now. And Demoree ended up being raised by her grandfather and his wife, Olga. And Demoree called Olga her mommy.
Yeah, it makes
Because
sense.
both
Hell
her
yeah, they probably doing some
and
shady shit to
Desiree
Nicki and
behind
them.
that. Also, according to Demoree, Desiree doesn't like the fact that she's with her husband, Javon, who is a black man. And Demoree has been with Javon since she was 14 years old.
Girl,
She's
get
now 30,
over
so
it.
she's been with him for over 15 years at this point. And
Like,
Desiree does not like this man, and Demoree listed the reasons why.
I think it's a mixture of racism, classism, and she never thought we were gonna last. In the very beginning, she didn't like him just because of from the neighborhood where he was born, which is it's so hypocritical because she was not born in the best neighborhood and was a drug trafficker. She was just judging him for
right.
being black and being born in a bad neighborhood. And then I think after college, when she
Bitch, you
realized,
used to
okay, he's
sell the
not going
fiends. What are
anywhere,
we talking
she
about?
actually offered him a position in the Rocnation. And she actually offered me a position and wanted us to move there and work there. And we said no. My husband's a very independent, free thinker and free speaker. He does not conform to what society norms are. He uplifted me, educated me just like I have for him. And so her seeing, oh man, like he can influence her possibly more than me, or he's showing her a different side of the world that maybe
Right.
I
So
don't
she
want her
losing
to
that
know.
control.
And
It's
so I think
threatening.
she felt threatened by him. She wanted me to be with a millionaire and date this person and go here. And so it's really just about power control, classism, and just like your typical like narcissistic parent, like I want this from you and this is what I envision. And if you go left, oh man, you must be getting abused. You must be getting coerced. Because why on earth wouldn't you
You
be doing
date
what
a
I said?
black man,
Yeah.
right?
Now, there were a lot of different incidents that happened that led to Demoree actually suing her mother, Desiree. Now, it started back in September 2023 when Desiree allegedly called the police and falsely accused Javon of putting his hands on Demoree.
September 11th, 2023, Javon and I are in the back room. We're having an argument about a business call. So there's a bed, a whole entire queen bed in between both of us, and we're arguing and whatnot. Out of nowhere, Olga and Milady storm into the room screaming. And then she tells me in Spanish, your mother called me saying that he's beating you up. And I go, no, nothing is happening. A few minutes pass by, and Miami-Dade Police Department storm into the room, and they tell us, we received the call that you're getting beat up nonstop. We need to separate you guys and talk.
The fact that the cop was laughing indicates
I'm
that,
like,
yeah,
damn,
nothing
I
was
just
going
woke
on.
up, we were arguing. Nobody hit anybody, so she has me. I had a short sleeve on, you'll see it in the body cam.
Yeah.
She has me extend my arms. She checks me for bruises. She has me turn around. She checks my neck. She said, you don't have anything. I go, I'm trying to tell you, I didn't get hit. I had not one tear in the body cam, not one mark. I was more embarrassed that she was interviewing me without a bra and with a bonnet on than anything.
That's swatting.
Mm-hmm.
When you call the police with a fake emergency, making it sound like someone's life is in danger with hearing stuff like that.
Again, she checked me. She saw no bruises. The other officer interviewed Javon. You'll see that in the body cam. He was explaining everything. They were like, okay, there's nothing here.
What's even crazier about this situation is the police ended up telling Demoree and Javon that Desiree was watching them from a secret camera that she allegedly put in their room without
Ooh.
them knowing.
Because the police officer, she didn't say this on the body cam, but she told me, she said, we got the call. She's watching me from New York. There's a camera in here. If I were you guys, I would move out of here because clearly the people who live in here have a problem with you guys. And that's what started me, Javon and I's manhunt for an apartment or a townhouse to move out. That officer telling me that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, a camera? Where? That camera was in our bathroom, facing our shower in a closet.
Uh-uh.
Scary.
That's no.
really scary. And when Demoree
Facing the shower in a closet.
Demoree investigators to move across the street from them and watch them.
To answer your question about the surveillance, she rented the house across the street from us, hired unlicensed and licensed private investigators to surveil us, and they were living there for months, watching us, following us. We have proof of this. I'm not making this up, people. The former BSO police officer, James Bondo, who's on the Baker Act video that you guys see, he admits on body cam that he placed a GPS tracker in my car.
Well, I'm saying she's heading over because right now need her or yes, they have a GPS on her. So she should by any minute.
Probably 90% of the people who were following me were men, grown men, with guns. Some that didn't have the correct licenses to be following with guns. They were following my husband. They were even showing up at my husband's nephew's school and surveilling the children. We have proof of that.
That is insane, but it gets crazier than that. Once Demoree and Javon caught on to what was happening, Desiree allegedly tried several attempts to have Demoree mentally evaluated so that there could be an excuse to Baker Act her. So basically, she wanted to Britney Spears her, allegedly.
Yeah.
One time, Demoree got a call that her uncle was dying, and when she drove over to see him, she realized it was a trap, and Desiree allegedly tried to hold
Was trying to get her
against
into distress. That's crazy.
So I tried to leave. She has like an automatic gate. She locks it. So I tried to climb over. I had my dog with me, trying to hop over the gate, not drop my dog, and she's punching me, hitting me. And at that point, she's like, if you try to leave and go back with that Nigger, I will have you committed. She whispered that in my ear. 3 police officers show up. She didn't even want to open the gate. The police were like, you better open up this gate right now. She finally opened the gate. Police separated up everyone. And then police were like, she's saying that you want to yourself. I'm like, what? I'm like, she called me and told me to come here because my uncle was dying. I was going 90 in the freeway. Like, at no point did I say I wanted to die. I said I was leaving and she threatened to commit me.
Oh, y'all, but it didn't stop there.
Oh,
Demoree claims that one time when she was working at this company called Iconic, she was instructed to get on a Zoom call meeting with the director from Nike Academy. She later on realized this director was an undercover doctor trying to do a psych evaluation on her so that she could gather information to find a reason to Baker Act her.
Desiree, you
I
doing
was
too
told that it was
much.
a mandatory meeting. Show up to the Zoom. I'm the only person there. The lady identifies herself as Rachel Thomas. Later to come to find out, it was Dr. Rachel Bernstein, a sex code therapist. I got consent to record her, so I have this all on recording. I took a picture of the Zoom, and when I realized it didn't sound like it was
That's
like
what
a
I'm talking about.
corporate
Keep
type
them
of meeting,
receipts.
and it was like a psych eval, I asked for the website. I asked if I could record her, all that stuff. Later to find out it was a fake website. She didn't work for Nike, and she really was a sex code therapist. And so I think when they saw that I was becoming suspicious, they told me I
Sex
no
cult
longer had to attend
therapist?
those meetings after attending 3. And I
Like
think
she helped
obviously
people
the
who was
intention
trapped
with
in a
that
sex
was to
cult?
possibly
Like,
make her
I
out.
didn't know that was a
DeMore
thing.
claims that Desiree's alleged actions against her and
I
her
know like
husband
a
did
sex
not
therapist,
stop
marriage
there, and
sex
she
therapist.
detailed the incidents that led up to her husband ultimately being falsely arrested December 30th, 2023.
I want the public to know I did family therapy sessions to try to save my relationship with my mother. It didn't work. She continued to try to say, I know he's abused you, admit it. I know he hit you on September 11th. And I'm like, he did not. That did not happen. And you need
Damn,
to
hit on
stop.
9/11
Like, I'm
is
not going to
crazy.
admit to something that didn't happen. December 29th, I come home from Publix, the supermarket, and a detective shows up at our house, Detective Williams, from the domestic violence unit. And she pulls up, and she goes, we got a call that you're being held against your will and tortured. And I'm like, what? I send them away. And then the very next day, Javon and I had plans to take his nephews, well, my nephews now, right? And my mother-in-law to a farm, a Pinto's farm, to celebrate the holiday. We're not even there 15 minutes when like 8 police officers show up and they grab me. I had to put the kids down. The kids are crying. At this point, I called her when I'm at the farm. This is the last time I spoke to her. I said, did you get him arrested? Yes, I did. He's an abuser, this and this. I go, what is wrong with you? I'm like, you better call all your
Like,
friends
damn, you
at
this
the police
racist, girl?
department,
It's not
and you
that.
better get
Like,
us
it's
released before I
2025. God
speak and
damn.
tell everybody who you really are.
So Demoree was furious because
Jay, get this bitch
Desiree
out of here. I don't
allegedly
care what
tried
time
to
she got to the
falsely get
cartel.
Javon
Get
arrested
somebody else.
and
Get
she
this
allegedly
out of
issued
here.
this incident that happened back in January 2022 to get him caught up. But Demoree actually said the video was
She
completely
must supply
edited,
some
and
good
what
shit.
really happened was she was sick with COVID, and Javon tried to leave the house, and she accused him of cheating out of her own insecurities because Demoree was very honest. She admitted that she had some insecurities, and she and Javon were young, so they had their little spats here and there. And she took up a Swiffer, and Javon tried to block it. But the video had that part blurred to make it seem like he was raising a hand at her.
He thinks, because in the house we do have BB guns, he thinks I got a BB gun and I was going to shoot him with the BB gun. So this the Swifter.
And it's obviously she's more of the aggressor in the situation than he was.
What's funny is she doesn't produce audio, guys. She has audio, but she doesn't produce it. In the audio, he's like, "Don't shoot me! Don't shoot me!" So we got space. We reconvened, and we're like, "Okay, we're never gonna act that way. I'm not gonna act that way. Like we need to trust each other." We moved on, and that was it.
So Demoree and Javon had a petty argument, and Demoree said that she had a very high fever from COVID, so she was a little extra, but she revealed this, even though it made her look kind of bad, she revealed this anyway to kind of show that Javon wasn't pounding on her like that. I mean, Desiree was actually still cool with him after the incident.
My husband and I have been together since we were 14 years old. He's known him from 14 to 30. We're 30 years old. He's been very active in family events, very active in everything. No mother, if she really believed that their daughter was being abused, would have him around that much.
Right, you still around the man.
She invited Javon to Turks and Caicos with my family for my brother's graduation, May 2022. We were on vacation for a week with her. Javon was buying her Valentine's Day gifts. She was texting him, "Thank you, sweetie. I love you. This and that." Like, he was engaged. We went to Aspen. We went to the Super Bowl with her all after this incident in January.
I think things started to change when Demoree and Javon started to grow distant from Desiree after realizing that they were being watched. And I think Desiree was upset about that, so she allegedly tried to do what she could to separate Demoree from her husband, Javon. And that included getting him locked up for DV, which he was not found guilty of.
He got arrested because we have public records and emails that the state attorney was pressured. and they received fabricated
Bribery
evidence.
and
Obviously, they
shit.
didn't think that a mother would submit fabricated evidence, right? Because it's like nobody thinks that, right? And the reason why they arrested him so quickly and abruptly was because my mother, with Jeffrey Brown, who's a private investigator, and a whole bunch of unlicensed PIs like Raymond Gonzalez, and another one that I don't want to name him because he's a huge figure and he was there at the farm. They were there and they could for us to say that I was being abducted. And so that's why in the body cam you see 10 officers showing up at
It's not
his
funny.
farm thinking that I'm being abducted. And it really was just another tactic and a manipulation of the Rocnation CEO to get the police to show up, which he wanted them to show up and to force an arrest.
Demoree claims that a private investigator named Jeffrey Brown was hired to surveillance her, and he was the one who assisted in getting her husband arrested.
Javon gets arrested.
That
he makes bail
nasty
the
ass
next day.
Bree.
And I want the
Look like
record to
fucking
reflect
Sage.
through
Get out of
our
here,
amazing
sir.
investigative team, specifically my lead investigator, we uncovered with body cams, with evidence that I'm going to give to you to produce to your audience. The private investigators, where she rented the house directly across the street from us to watch us 24/7, followed us to the farm. We already knew we were being followed, but I didn't know until after that arrest that they were living across the street. And some of
Wow.
those men were unlicensed, which in Florida, by Florida statute, you cannot surveil and follow someone if you're not a private investigator and you don't have your license. That's considered aggravated stalking. Licensed and unlicensed private investigators and just regular men living there across the street for over 6 months, surveilling us. And then when we would leave in the morning, they would alternate in cars and, alternate men, and they would follow us. So a couple will follow me, a couple will follow Javon, and they would follow us out there today. They would follow our friend. She even sent a private investigator to my best friend's job in Boston to try to convince my best friend to say she was a victim of human trafficking. She sends investigators to my husband's nephew's schools.
This story is crazy. It's honestly traumatizing, even listening to it. But
Yeah.
it gets even deeper, y'all. After Demoree's husband Javon was arrested, Desiree allegedly tried to conspire with this attorney named Brett Schwartz to have Demoree committed so she couldn't testify for her husband Javon, because they were allegedly trying to get Javon.
Y'all, this is hurting my
charged for human
brain. Like, this
trafficking,
lady
even
is
though he
going
never
haywire.
trafficked anybody.
Damn, I not was
Actually,
you was
never
judging
they got
Nicki.
arrested
I
or
believed
charged
them. I'm
ever. He
sorry.
was really charged with no crime. But he was
This is
never
some
arrested
crazy shit.
for human trafficking. She called an individual in the feds that I will say for court. We have the person's name, and had that person open up an investigation for human trafficking and labor trafficking, which went nowhere because he's not a human trafficker and labor trafficker. Brett Schwartz, this man who files and pretends to be my attorney, him and my mom forgets that they blind copied the state attorney's office, so now we have their communications. And then at that point in the emails, we discover that Brett Schwartz tells my mother, maybe if we hire a brainwashing expert or a doctor, we can have her committed.
Oh,
Yeah, so on email, they're concocting, we can get him arrested with something else, charge him. She won't be able to testify.
Now they saying he
and we can
brainwashing
have her
her.
committed, and then he can go to jail. That was the plan, and that's all on email where he said, what if we have her committed?
And this is an attorney that's doing this.
Yes, his name is Brett Schwartz, located here in Miami, Florida, and Desiree Perez. And she's sending all these emails with her Rocnation signature. And let the record reflect Alex Shapiro from Quinn
Impressive, funny.
Brett Schwartz, Laura Gatt, Barbara Martinez, Wilfredo Ferreira, I can't pronounce his name, the U.S. Attorney for Human Trafficking, Jessica I don't know how to pronounce it, I'll give that to you. All these people.
And she giving all the names. She don't give a fuck. She say y'all going down.
Emailing the state attorneys, all trying to get Javon charged with something for months. And we have evidence of that.
Demoree said that she not only was being watched and followed, but her devices were being cloned and hacked.
My Apple Watch, my iCloud were hacked, cloned, and manipulated with a cybersecurity forensic team and software, which we have proof of. there was a second device that was not my device that was able to get into my iCloud, download all my information, back it up, and essentially was active on my phone through another phone, which my investigative team discovered. Like it's what's called they clone your phone.
Look, Desiree. I might have some people who phone I want to tap into. Hit me up. Look, I ain't got no money like that, but we could work something out.
To Rocnation, my personal emails were pinning to Rocnation. Her assistant from Rocnation
I know you know how to get into the phones.
listed as the second number to some of like my account. We were able to find out, and that's something that's on the amended complaint, that they hired and they had a sophisticated software that only like high-tech cybersecurity forensic people have access to. And they did what's called, the feds do this, they dumped my phone. They did a photo dumping, and so with stuff like that, with that technology, not only can you manipulate people's text messages, you can manipulate the other person's text messages. So that was used to say that, in my husband's case, to try to claim DV. So the beauty about that is I was able to prove, like, with just putting on my phone and comparing the screenshot text with the date, that the messages that were so-called screenshotted that my husband sent to me on my actual phone weren't the same message in the same combo.
Manipulating text messages, hacking into phones and devices and accounts, cloning phones. This is some crazy work.
Shit,
And I remember Bobby Schmurder, who used to be a Rocnation client, said that they had hackers over there.
And the whole thing was like, Rocnation, these are tiring all the hackers. These are tiring all the fucking hackers. They got all the shit hacked.
Child, listen, everybody can't be lying.
Damn.
Everybody cannot be lying. But after Demoree's husband's DV case was dropped, it was dropped because there was no evidence to back it up. But after it was dropped, Demoree claims that there were more tactics used to get her husband framed. In fact, she said a Rocnation employee allegedly went up to her counselor and played a fake audio of her screaming that she got armed, and they wanted to use this to frame Javon.
I get a call from my counselor.
Not
who tells me,
surprised.
hey, there was a girl who came into my office when I was walking to the parking lot and tells me, are you Demoree therapist? She's being and plays an audio. And she says that this woman plays an audio of a girl that sounds nothing like me saying, don't rip me, don't rip me. She described her and I go, I know who that is. I sent her the picture. I said, is it this woman? She goes, yes, how do you know her? I go, that's Natalie Anderson, known as Natalie Love, an assistant at Rocnation.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay. After the failed attempts to set up Javon, Desiree allegedly tried to have Demoree committed. And the way they set this whole scheme up was just scary. It really was scary. Now, Demoree traveled to Royal Palm Yacht Basin to do a business meeting. She was thinking that she was having a business meeting. Come to find out, she was set up. She was surrounded by a group of people, including officers and private investigators who were pretending to be a part of a crisis unit. And also a doctor named Dr. Daniel Bolber was there.
In the specific body cam that you guys saw for the Baker Act, it was Dr. Daniel Bolber.
And she's been acting psychotic.
Stephen Caddy.
So we're a mobile crisis team working with Dr. Bolton's Hospital.
Okay. James Fondo.
Most of the time, it's not complicated.
And Jessica Caddy. And then Officer Jordan Dennis and Officer Joseph Reyes. I'm suing all these people. This is public information.
And Dr. Daniel Bolber, who never once evaluated her or even met her before, tried to have her committed against her will. And he allegedly did this under the instruction of Demoree's mother, Desiree Perez.
Demoree says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before.
So for Dr. Daniel Bolbar to say, we got a call that the night before you tried to OD in front of family, how, if I wasn't physically living with family since 2017, specifically my mother.
Right.
And I wasn't even in communications with her or the so-called two witnesses, one being a Rocnation assistant by the name of Natalie Anderson, and another one being an aunt. That doctor has never diagnosed me with anything. I was like, you're not my physician. I have a doctor. Call her. does not meet criteria. I spoke to her as early as yesterday. She's not suicidal. She's never been suicidal, and she doesn't have a mental illness. I do not support this. He tells her, come on, you know, Dr. So-and-so, you have to help me.
Make sure she writes something too to back you up though, girl, cause make sure they don't pay her ass off.
And according to Demoree, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Demoree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demoree falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Rocnation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jayz.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart Demoree and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband.
So she trying to say she the mastermind behind all the bullshit that really go down. That was trying to say. I think Jay know about some shit, obviously. But I don't think he care about any of this shit.
Occasions for battery and domestic violence. Charges prosecutors did not pursue. Demoree's lawsuit alleges her mother conspired with prominent psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober, seen he.
Alright, what else they talking about?
Trying to OD the night before our fall. Ship didn't go anywhere, obviously, because I'm not incapacitated. And they even listed one of the witnesses on the guardianship as my former boss, who she also paid to get me back.
Iconic creative.
Alright, they just recapping stuff. Just
Of my mother. I lost my brothers and sisters to this. My grandmother died 2 months ago. She has blocked my number. I can't contact my grandfather. She's not allowing me to see him. That has been the most painful thing. I think that that's worse.
just evil.
Does she have a guardianship over him?
So she has power of attorney, so I've now had to hire another lawyer to file something in family that I'm working on. So I think that that's the worst thing that she has ever done to me. And like I say, hurt me, hurt my husband, but you're hurting my grandfather because he's 90 with Alzheimer's and he still knows me. And I called him every other day for the last year since this has happened. And so I have like cleaning ladies.
Oh my god, he still remembers her and she
but
not
they
letting
will
him
not.
see. Oh
They
my god.
connect me to him that they'll get fired. So I just, you know, I spent a year trying to behind the scenes give her grief.
Alright, y'all. This is crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and exit out here. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I think our girl is justified in this one. Like, they got a lot of evidence. And like, this is a lot to just make up anybody to make up or just to protect this man who don't got nothing going on. Like, I don't think they lying, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you enjoy the content. Like I said, we got a new capture card, so better video quality, audio quality, all of that. PMG. I'm out, y'all.